Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bat to the Ball. My name is Andrew, here to do a double threat of breaking down the Pirates, Brewers versus the Pirates, and Brewers versus the Twins. Was not able to record anything for the Pirates series, and then I wasn't able to until after game one of the Twins series. So I just said, you know what? Let's just make it a doubleheader. So starting out with game one, we had this is from a little while ago. But you had Brandon Sproat versus Bubba Chandler. Sproat just didn't have his best stuff. And in a weird way, it was like Murph just I was like, you don't really see pitchers get pulled mid-inning. But that's what happened with Sproat. Is that you could just say his command just was not there. And it's just like, and he was just like, I just got to get him out of there. That's just what happened. And I think that's what Murph thought and everything like that. And so they were just like, let's just get him out of there. Let's bring in, I remember who they brought in, Stallings. Yeah, and Stallings was pretty well. Through it all. I know after this game, Sproat got optioned to AAA. And I know that he left with like some booze or whatever type thing. We don't need to be doing that. Not to a guy that I think that the Brewers have high hopes that are going to be a big part of this team in the future. He just wasn't ready. It was like we tried. There was a few good starts. There's very good flashes of brilliance. There was some really good starts there for Sprout, and then there was a lot of just these sinkers, and that's exactly what he's trying to avoid. And so, hopefully, him going to AAA will give him time and some confidence to figure it out. And, maybe he'll be that call up in September. Maybe he won't. Who knows? I think it will all depend on how he does, and does he continue to kind of go forward. I do really like Sprout. I think he has a lot of really good stuff from him, but he just needs to figure out his command issues and stop leaving balls down the middle of the plate. That'd be nice. If he can do that, and heck yeah. So, there was a few things with this whole series that there was people were like booing Yelich and stuff like that, and Murph asking on Brewer fans to just remember who this guy is type thing. Let's get behind him type thing. And he's right. We need to get behind Yelich. We need to get behind these guys that are struggling. So, Yelich is having his greatest year. And Contreras is struggling mighty at this moment right now, too. So, it is what it is. And we just got to get behind him. And then hopefully a little confidence boost, a couple hits there, will, right him, I guess. So, yeah, like I said, continuing though, it was I think Sproat had left with the bases loaded or one more on base or whatever. Spencer Horwitz doubled, so it was 3-0 Pirates, and then Jake Magnan would add a bunt single and a bunt crumble. I don't remember him bunting. I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the Pirates would get an additional in front of that. It was go up 4-0. Brewers would respond back in the fifth with Joey Ortiz hitting a single and having Bauer score. From there, it was kind of that was all we got in the fifth inning. The sixth, we got a few more with Andrew Vaughn with a line drive, 4-3, and that would be the final score of 4-3. Brewers had some opportunities. They went 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. They left 8 on base, though. That's kind of a big. That's a big point. Pratt, I see, had an error. This was a while back, so I don't honestly remember much about it. But yeah, I mean, it's Sprout had not a great start, got option to AAA as a result of that. I think it was kind of going to happen considering the trade acquisitions that the Brewers ended up bringing in as a result of it, but it is what it is. Stallings looked really good out of the bullpen through 3 innings, only got 2 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Pretty good. Ashby pitched a couple innings. He's looking like he's a little bit better on point. That'd be great after a couple innings, and then Patrick would end up finishing the 9th inning, but the Brewers would fall short in their efforts to come back and win this game. So Brewers dropped game 1 versus the Pirates Um, and yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta say about that. So, I need to remind myself here real fast because this is again a while ago. Yeah, Pratt came in, pinch hit for Hamilton, and got struck out twice. Ortiz, another big game from him. I know he's been dealing with a bit of what was it? Neck problems or neck soreness or something like that right now. When we're talking the time here, it's whatever. It's like, man. So ultimately, it's like you didn't do terrible against like Bubba Chandler. I think you would have hoped for a little bit more. This Pirates bullpen is good, and it's really what it comes down to it. So, yeah, that's game one. Game two, it was Logan Henderson versus Jared Jones. Henderson being getting in a little bit of trouble somewhat early. I mean, he was like his first time through. I think it was pretty good. If I remember correctly, but Jacob Gonzalez would homer on a line drive toward the center field in the third inning, but Jack would respond in the bottom of the third as Jackson Churio hits his 14th homer of the year to right center field. He loves hitting to that right center field mark. After that, and then the Brewers add another one on with an Andrew Vaughn homer to center field. I think he absolutely crushed that one, if I'm not mistaken. And then followed up with a hit from Churio, also in that fourth inning as they kind of go around. I don't think they chase Jones there. No, they don't chase him there, but it pretty much led to his start being cut short a little bit. So he only went four innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts for Jared Jones. Henderson ended up going 6 after he given up another home run to Andy Rodriguez. And then Lara would single on a ground ball, and then Contreras would score before 2, and that would be the end of it as Brewers would win as a score of 4-2. Good to see some of the acquisitions for the Brewers kind of coming through. I can talk about those in a little bit. But Henderson, great start from him. Six innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. His only home run, like he only gave up like a couple singles if I'm not mistaken, and then it was like home runs was pretty much all there was. Henderson was giving up. He looks sharp and on point and absolutely off. We got to see Senzatella, I think, in his Brewers debut, or when did he pitch? He didn't pitch Monday, did he? No. So it was like that was pretty cool. Nothing too crazy from him, but it was pretty good. And then Uribe, the striking out of the side, and then McGill would finish him off. Spurs would win and scored 4-2, getting their 70th win of the season. That's pretty gosh dang cool. And then game 3, because of a 4-game series, was the return of Kyle Harrison. Kyle Harrison will be facing Paul Skeens. So it's kind of a pitcher's duel very early on until about the 4th inning, where Yelich would hit a double down ground ball and then Mitchell would score. Brewers would get an early run there, and then a single from Andrew Vaughn would score 2 more. 2 more after the Yelich double, and the Brewers would take a good lead against Paul Skeens as 3-0 in like the middle innings. So there's that. Contreras would follow up in the 6th inning with a home run of his own, given up by that Bacher because they chased Paul Skeens, which is pretty wild. Is like I feel like I don't know. It's just like people are. I don't know. It's just like random side note here about this whole thing is like oh, people just say it's like, well, Skeens is having a good year, gonna have a good year, and well, that's undoubtedly so. But it's like this isn't just a bad year. Like his stuff is down a lot. Is that not concerning for a lot of people, especially for the Pirates and Skeens? I'm like, stuff's not playing well and everything like that. He's not getting results. He's giving up a lot more contact. Is that not concerning? I don't know. It's just crazy for a guy that was completely dominating the league for 2 years And then this year is just like just get hit up left and right, and it's wild to see. I mean, it's really what it comes down to. It's just wild to see. So yeah, I mean, Brewers would take a 4-0 lead, and usually good things happen when they score 4 runs. Andy Rodriguez would hit a 2-run home run in the 7th to make it a little bit more interesting off of, I believe, DL Hall. Yes, it was. Senzatella had to come in to finish off that. I think throwing like 3 pitches or something like that and striking him out. But pretty good from there. After that, Uribe would pitch another scoreless inning, and McGill would close it out for his 20th save of the year. Real good for Harrison. I know Harrison ended up leaving the game a little early because of he was going to come on pitch 6 during his warm-ups, then came off. Luckily, it doesn't sound like it was anything more than cramping, so he's expected to make the next start, which is really good to hear. Because the last thing I saw when he was walking off the mound, we were all worried that he had re-injured himself or something of that sort, and luckily that was not the case. Thank God for that. Holy crap. That just gave us a little bit of a heart attack there for a little while. I thought it was on a pitch count, to be honest with you, but nope. No, he just cramped up, so I'm glad he recognized that and just got out of there type thing. He looked really sharp, though. He looked really sharp, and that's exactly what we need from him going forward. So Brewers went on consecutive days on the score of 4-2. Game 3, we had Brewers debut of Dustin May versus Brandon Ashcraft. It was really cool. That was the game I was actually at. That was really fun to go watch that game. So then it was Churia would launch another home run in the first inning. Another one to that right center field fence. Thought for a second he might have brought it back, but he did not. So that was really cool. At that, it was kind of a pitching duel. It's like a lot of guys just not really like making great contact or really putting together innings. It wasn't until third inning where I believe Ashcraft walked Hamilton. Hamilton stole second. Stole second, or was it a? I remember. And then he got over to third, and then Cooper Pratt ended up hitting a sac fly out there. The Brewers take a 2-0 lead. But it wouldn't be long before Brandon Lau in the very next inning would hit a home run out to left center field. He absolutely crushed that ball. Then it was like Horowitz hit a single. There was a lot of just soft contact in that inning. May was starting to hit a little bit more of the plate type thing. Do note in that play for Horowitz is like there was a guy that was rounding second going to third, and Mitchell ended up throwing him out at third. That was huge because that inning changes complexion entirely without that one out, and then runners in the corners instead of just running on first. So the Brewers are able to keep the lead as a result of that, or not keep the lead, but you prevent the Pittsburgh from taking the lead and doing any further damage in that inning. It wasn't until about the 5th inning where the Kraken would rise, and he hit an absolutely towering home run to left field. It was wow. That was an awesome one to see. And then with a couple hits from, what was it? Because it was a misplay by Brian Reynolds for this Terang single that allowed Pratt to score. So the Brewers would take a 4-2 lead. And then Vaughn would add another single, RBI single in the 6th. Brewers would take a 5-2 lead, and that would be the end of it. Brewers would win 5-2, as this was the game where it's just like, okay, the bullpen was available. We had used McGill and Uribe in back-to-back days, so obviously Murph didn't want to use them second time as well. So we got to see DL Hall come in for an inning, gave up a hit, but nothing else after that. Ashby would come in, strike out the side after giving him another hit. And then Patrick would end up closing it out, getting there. I believe that was he ran into a bit of trouble there in that 9th inning. But some bad base running from the Pirates would end up getting a double play off of a ball that was hit to Trang, I believe. I don't know if you remember. Trang or Lara. No, because that was early in the game. Either way, it's like bad base running, and then the Brewers had to challenge it, but ultimately the play ended up standing. They won, so that was really good. Not a lot of chances in that game to do that. Yeah, not a lot of chances for the team, but when they had the chances, they made them count. That's what it mattered in the end. So, yeah. Overall, Dustin May looked really good. I said this when I think I said this probably not on this channel or anything like that, but when I heard that they got Dustin May, I was super excited for that. I'm like, he's having a really good year. He's healthy, and it's like his stuff is electric and it's really good. And I think that the Brewers pitching lab, Chris Hook, and stuff like that, we're gonna figure him out type thing. And look, and was it easy Paul schemes? No, but is he gonna be a huge part of this rotation going forward for the rest of this year? Absolutely, he is. So it cannot be understated. Same thing with Jojo Romero when he finally comes back from his injury. I think he'll be a big part of this bullpen going forward as well. So overall, Pirates series, you ended up winning 3-1. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of close games in there, but overall, it's like game one was kind of a disappointing loss. Felt like the Brewers had opportunities to get into this game and get back into this game. Sproder, we'll hopefully see it. Maybe we'll see a bit this year, maybe next year, but we'll just figure out your stuff, and you'll be up here in no time, and we'll all be behind you. Something I wanted to say as well is I know Contreras had a few games where he was doing a lot of good. And I was like, man, I feel like has been struggling a lot lately. So there's that. So yeah, that's the Pirates series. Moving on to the Twins series. Brewers would have with this. Who this Matthews is again? Is it Zebby Matthews versus Shane Drowan? So first inning went by pretty well for Drowan, and then bottom of the first, Jack hits another first run homer. Another one to center field. He loves hitting in center field. There's that, and the Brewers take a 1-0 lead. David Hamilton would end up reaching on a fielder's error that would allow Christian Yelich to score, and a couple of runs to come in later on after Terang hit a line ball double down the line, and the Brewers would take a 4-0 lead, but the Twins would not be denied as Josh Bell hits a 2-run homer. Dylan Culpepper would hit a solo shot in the fourth, and then they was just kind of unraveled for Drohan a little bit in that fourth inning. It wasn't until the fifth where a bit more contact from off Drohan's pitches. Another one of those situations where it's just like you need to get him out of there, but Murphy want to do the bullpen because at this point we're doing a 6-man rotation. I was like, we're doing a 6-man rotation, and as a result of doing a 6-man rotation, means you have one less guy in the bullpen. And when you're playing a bunch of these games in a row like we're doing right now, when you have starts like this where you just like, I just got to get this guy out of here because it's just like giving up hits, he's giving up runs left and right type thing. So it's like that. But Murph didn't want to do that. And I think it was that fifth inning where he finally did end up getting him out right there. Stuff. So Twins ended up taking a 6-4 lead, but the Brewers would strike back after a sac fly from Bowers and Mitchell with a ground ball. Brewers would tie up, but the sixth inning would strike yet again as Drohan would put it back out there again. Probably ill-advised. Not Drohan. That's right. It was this one was on Senzatella. Yeah, that's right. So Senzatella is still really good. I think a really, really good acquisition from this team. So, but Twins are just playing out of their mind. And also, it's Lewis. It's their two best hitter. They're they're a best hitter, and the Brewers killer, and Josh Bell. It was the reason why, they went winning this. And then the Brewers had so many opportunities. You went 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. That's what makes this loss so much more frustrating. You ended up losing 8-6. You can clearly tell that Murph didn't want to use a lot of the bullpen, considering Joe Hahn went 5, since Tell went 1, and then Bryce Wilson came in, pitched really well for the rest of from the 7th inning on, pretty much. And then here's like Twins is using like all their bullpen. It's like Nance, Inter, Hoffman, Morris, and Gomes, who I know is their closer. So, and if I remember correctly, the Brewers had a lot of opportunities, just not coming up with it, and that's not what you want to happen type thing. Sometimes that's baseball, but when you go for 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position, got to do a little bit better than that. So ultimately, the Brewers end up losing 8-6 in Game 1. Like I said, sometimes just going to that 6-man rotation when we're already in like this stretch of like a lot of games in a row. Don't want to have to use the bullpen if don't need to be. But you end up with these starts where it's just like, all right, I just need to get him out of there, but he hates to use the bullpen. I also want to point out Bryce Wilson got DFA'd after this game. Why? He's been good for us, man. I just don't understand that sometimes. So just freaking sucks, man. All I'm gonna say there. So no. Like I hope, I'm sure some team will give Bryce Wilson, the love they want. I don't know why the Brewers don't want to keep him around, but it is what it is, I guess. All right, moving on to Game 2. We had what was it? It was Robert Gasser versus Taj Bradley. Very much a sort of kind of like a pitching matchup / it was just like, I don't know, Gasser was just kind of like really struggling for a little bit there. And once again, the Brewers continue to struggle from with runners in scoring position, but we'll get there. Brewers would start out in a really good spot, bottom of the first, to get the bases loaded. Contreras gets hit by the pitch on his elbow guard. On his one side, the Brewers take a 1-0 lead on that. But man, you really could have and should have scored more, considering you had runners in. You had the runners all around basically, and it's just like in your next like three hitters are Mitchell lines back to Taj Bradley on a soft liner basically. Vaughn strikes out and Yelich grounds out. Really needed to do more damage. Really, really, really needed to do there. So, second inning would come around, and Gasser couldn't figure out. I think he hit 2 guys in that inning, and then walked home a run. Can't be doing that. Can't be doing it. And then Royce Lewis breaks it open with a double. Like, Twins come back, take a 3-1 lead. Fourth inning was when the Brewers would tie up after Terang would hit a single. Yelich would score and Vaughn would score. Almost made it over to third, but we aren't able to do any more damage past that. After that, it was all in the hands of the pitchers, basically. Like Patrick came in for Gasser after he was kind of struggled with his command a little bit. But it was like Patrick, Uribe, McGill. That's good. Funny enough, Ashby actually gets the win. His 13th win of the year. That time after a RBI single from Andrew Vaughn would score Lockridge from second base. Good to see Lockridge back. It's great to see. I mean, yeah, it's just like, it's like there was opportunities a ton in this game. Some they made use of, some they did not. So ultimately, you still went 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Not great. Not great. Could do a little bit better, just a little bit. Especially that first inning. I wouldn't feel maybe as bad if it wasn't for that first inning. You needed to get at least 1 or 2 more in that first inning. So I don't know, man. Ultimately, Brewers doing what Brewers do best, just enough to win the game. Like I said, Uribe came in, Ashby came in, McGill, with his 21st save of the year. was a good win overall, considering everything that kind of fell in line with that win as well. Because I believe that the Cubs lost that day. The Dodgers ended up winning, but I think the Braves also lost. So huge win for the Brewers on that Saturday. Game 3, that was today's game, the one I've basically just got done watching. It's like, we're gonna start the game off just like I've done, I think, 3 times in today's video. Pretty much, it was that Jack hits another home run to right center field. He is on a tear at the moment. He is doing crazy things and stuff like that. This was a Jacob Mizorowski day. And then pretty much 1-0 is where we stayed until about the top of the 5th, where Brooks Lee homered off of Miz. 99-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle of the plate. He did not miss it. That's for sure. That is a mistake by Miz, and one that he's going to want back, pretty much. Bowers would hit a home run in the bottom of the 5th inning off an opposite field homer of a lefty. Really cool to see from Jake Bowers. Brewers take a 2-1 lead, and after a double from Gary Sanchez, David Hamilton would double him home. Brewers take a 3-1 lead. Unfortunately, that would not last long after Corey Clements would hit a 2-run home run in the bottom and the top of the 6th inning. Twins would tie it up 3-3. Another mistake from Miz, about a 99 down the middle. And that's where we sat for a while. It was once again another one of those times where it's like Brewers had opportunities to really break this open in so many ways. So many ways. So also, we got caught stealing like twice, I think, in that game. The care team was hammering guys down or whatever type thing is. Like, I don't know why we just kept running. I don't know. It's like yeah, it's like, especially like the one with like Bowers. It's like Bowers got thrown out in like the 5th inning or something like that, and it's just like you're going from 2nd to 3rd, just trying to make something happen. And I go, feels like a really bad one. Feels like a really bad time to get caught out. Anyway, it's like Miz ends up going 6. He does break his 10 K streak as he only gets 9. Oh, I say only 9, but it does be the first pitcher to 200 strikeouts. Allows 2 home runs, 4 hits entirely. All of them won and walks 1 guy. So ultimately, those home runs come back to bite you in the butt, especially that second one. You can kind of be okay with giving up a solo shot. The 2-run homer that might have broke the Campbell's back, but would not be the case today. Like I said, Brewers have many opportunities. So would the Twins. Twins would have a ton of opportunities as well. Like, I think they loaded the bases in the 7th and 8th inning. It's like against Ashby and against Uribe. Uribe ended up walking 2 guys. Was it bases loaded? Maybe it was like runners on the corners or something like that. I don't really remember off the top of my head. And then Miguel came in and does what Miguel does. He closes out games. He's been really effective and really feeling it at the moment. So, but yeah, we would take this into extra innings. Neither team would score, and the Twins would fail to score in the top of the 10th inning against Hall. Pop fly from somebody, I don't remember who. Maybe it was like Bell or something. It was that and a strikeout, and then just like a little fly ball or something like that. Be all said and done. I think that was also the inning. Yeah, it was the 10th inning where Lara made the absolutely game-saving like hit again, or the catch to keep the Twins off the board in the 10th inning. Huge. I think Lara had another one earlier in that game as well. The Brewers would take that opportunity to win in the 10th. They got Terang was the automatic runner in second base, and then they walked Mitchell, and then I think it was Contreras didn't do anything, unfortunately, with his one. So I was like, oh boy, here we go again. We're not going to score. We're going to go to the 11th inning. not what we need to be doing right now type thing. But Bowers had other thoughts as a hit in the opposite field, and Terang chugging around the bases beats out. I was like, beats out the tag, which is crazy because the ball came in so early on. But when you slide that outside part of the plate, it means the catcher's got to go a long way when he catches it in front of home plate like that to make the tag. So Brewers would walk it off against the Twins. Another score win of 4-3 against the Twins. Take 2-1 overall. It's 5-2. 5-2 homestand. Really good. Another really important win. We're hitting a stretch where it's just like Cubs are in it, or Cubs are feeling good. They're winning a lot of games as recent type things. So you got to keep pace, especially because we're going back out west here. We're going to be facing the Padres and the Dodgers. They're two very tough opponents. So we got to do everything in our power to make sure we win the games like these. So luckily we did so. Yeah, I mean it was just like this last game was just really frustrating. It's just like Uribe, Ashby is what we're just struggling to kind of like just keep it close, keep it safe or whatever type thing. And luckily they ended up doing so. Whereas McGill just put 1, 2, 3, ninth inning, boom, 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 boom. That was it. And then Hall basically doing the same thing in that 10th inning, got his save. Or yeah, got the win, not the save, dummy. So yeah, I mean that's I'm gonna say here. It's like Contreras struggling mightily to get into for his bat to come out alive. I know he had a couple of hits in that Pirate series, but man, it's just like he is just struggling. As like we really need him to get going. Really, what it comes down to, especially when he's batting in the middle of the order. Great to see Lockridge back. Had some really good moments. He ended up starting game 3 here. The Spurs put as many righties. Had a really weird lineup. Had Andrew Vaughn over at third base, and I was just like, whoa. It was like his Cooper Pratt got put in the IL with I think it was hamstring tightness or whatever. So that was not great. That's going to leave us a little short-handed considering that Brewers kind of sticking away from using Joey O because of his neck issues. It doesn't sound like they want to put him on the IL. He's kind of day to day. So in an emergency situation, basically the Brewers are just going, well, we need Vaughn to play third base, so we're gonna have to have him play third. And luckily, didn't. I don't think there was really any tough plays he needed to make. A couple pop flies, but that's about it. So yeah. I mean, what's more to say? Pitching was really good. Glad we could actually win another Miz start, even if it wasn't his. No, I wouldn't say wins wasn't his greatest. I mean, it's good. I mean, quality start in 6 innings, 3 earned runs, struck out 9. It's really good. Really good. The offense just wasn't providing as much as I was hoping it would. Pitches just made what needed to be. Few errors here or there. Uribe ended up throwing a ball into center field, basically. It was a very ill-advised throw by Uribe. It's like, just get the runner at first, man. Like, you got 2 outs, the guy at second base and stuff like that. It's like, you need to get that out. You can't be doing that. Terang had a throwing error from shortstop because he ended up having to play short once Ball was out of the game because Hamilton moved back to third. And G1 Bay, which I didn't realize they signed, had to came in and play second. So that's pretty crazy. So Brewers a little thin when it comes to the bench and everything right now. A few injuries, got guys banged up, but making it work. So like I said, the series we're doing, I think, our last road trip out west, pretty much, as we're going 2 Padres and 2 Dodgers. So start with the Padres series. We got Logan Henderson pitching up against Casey Mize. I know Mize didn't have a great debut for the Padres, so hopefully we'll have that continue. Henderson's looking just continue doing what he's done all year. So there's that. Then game 2 will be Kyle Harrison versus Walker Buehler. Again, just do what you can. Just do what you need to do, man. It's like this is a Padres team that's does a lot of pitching. It's their main strength. So we can't be deterred by that. So what it is. And then it'll be Dustin May versus Robbie Ray, who I believe the Brewers faced when we were at Giants, if I'm not mistaken. Did we face Robbie Ray? I don't remember if we did it last or not. But as like the former Giant got traded to the Padres. So we got two guys that got traded to new teams facing up against one another. Quite funny, actually. This does mean that for the Dodgers series, it's a 4-game series, I believe, against the Dodgers. I'll break that down next time, I think. But I believe this is a 4-game series. Yeah. Of course it is. So that will be an interesting one. So I know the Dodgers are scuffling a little bit, but it's still the Dodgers, so you can't underestimate them. Nor should you. So Padres are going to be a tough one. I think if you can definitely take 2 out of 3, that'd be amazing. I would feel very confident, especially those first 2 games. The third one, we'll see. It probably will end up turning into pitcher's duel. But the offense is just got to get into gear, man. Like we just got to put together some solid at bats. Like get some lift on the ball, but I don't know. It's just like, what more can I say about the offense that I haven't already said? It's just it's lacking consistency is the main issue. It's not hitting with runners in scoring position and not doing those small things, which this team does better than anyone else in baseball. But they just haven't been doing it recently. They haven't been doing it since the All-Star game. All-Star game, maybe even a little before that. But it is what it is. So don't want to sit here and ramble on about it. I was like, if you're thinking about, I didn't really do anything about the trade deadline or anything like that. I was doing a podcast I do with a buddy of mine. I kind of gave my thoughts and summaries and opinions about Brewers. I plan on posting it here. So that'll probably come out afterwards of this video. So guess stay tuned for that if you're interested in that or whatever type thing. But yeah, that's it for me though. It's West. We never really played well when we're out west, so I'm hoping that trend does not continue here. But Padres are going to be a tough one because you also know when the 9th inning happens, you're losing the game. You're gonna have to face Mason Miller, and I do not like our chances against Mason Miller. So, one last thing I want to say again is like about this, especially this last game, is that man, Luis Lara is really good in the outfield. He is very, 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 very solid outfielder for us. And it's like maybe his bat's not quite there yet, but man, is his glove there, and it's great. Yeah, let's go beat the Padres. What's more to say? So thank y'all so much for watching. Be back on. This is like Thursday. Let's try and sneak this in at some point, but we'll see what we can do here. But yeah, until then, see y'all next time. Let's go beat those Padres up. Bye-bye.